Hey Savant Squad, what is happening? Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at The Savant Life, and also search for my page on Facebook and give it a big old thumbs up.
Hola YouTube, what is up? Welcome back to another brand new episode of The Savant Life, and yes, I've not been very active off late, and the reason for that is my GoPro Hero 4 Silver has not been functioning as well as it really should. So as a result of it, I can't really make any riding videos, but I thought I would use this opportunity to go ahead and do something that has been requested on my channel for so many months. And yes, as you might have guessed it from the title, I'm doing a comparison video pitting the three most popular 150cc segment bikes in India right here, right now. Now, before I even get into this, let me tell you right off the bat that I'm not including the TVS Apache RTR 160 because I've not ridden that bike, and also the Bajaj Pulsar NS 160 because even though I've ridden it, I did not find that bike to be anything special. It's a decent bike, but I don't think it's worthy of being included in the same category as these three, and by that I mean the Yamaha FZ 2.0, the Gixxer 155, and of course the Honda Hornet 160. These three bikes are the most popular and the most closely contested in that particular segment, and I thought, let me go ahead and pit them against each other in a triple threat match and see which one comes out on top. Now, of course, the objective of this video is not to find out which bike is the best, because that is so subjective and based on your own opinion and perceptions. The whole idea of this video is to find out which one of these three bikes is best suited for you. So with that being said, let's cut right to the chase and get into the comparison right here on The Savant Life. Let the games begin. Boom! Now, first and foremost, let's talk about the Suzuki Gixxer 155, or as I like to call it, the wild thing, because this bike is absolutely insane. Out of the three, according to me, it is clearly the most fun bike to ride. It is wild, it is berserk, it is ballistic, and it is a whole lot of fun. It has a grunt to it that very few bikes in the segment have, and right out of the showroom, without making any kind of modifications, the bike looks absolutely incredible, especially the one in the metallic Titron blue. That is the reason why I'm dressed like this, because that bike is a wild thing, and I was just trying to represent what the personality of the bike is, and that's exactly what I will do with the rest of the bikes as well, because ultimately, you know, we don't buy bikes based on what the poster says or what the specifications are. We buy a bike for its personality, and the Suzuki Gixxer is this wild, uncontrolled beast of a bike. I mean, I know it's only 150cc, but boy oh boy is it fun to ride. It has a 155cc engine which makes about 14 bhp of power and 14 newton meters of torque, but all of that is insignificant because this bike is so fun to flick around in traffic, and it is a cornering machine. I've tried this inside the city. I really have not taken it out to the track, but I can tell you from my experience of having ridden this bike inside the city, it's an absolute treat to ride this, especially on big wide open roads. Now, if you don't have too much of fun with it, and if you manage to ride it sensibly, yes, if you can resist the temptation to push the bike to its limits, then the Suzuki Gixxer can give you figures of anywhere between 50 to 54 kilometers per liter. Again, all of these are claimed figures by Suzuki. I can't really vouch for them. As you can make out, I'm probably not a mileage testing kind of a guy. I'm more of a guy who pushes the bike to its absolute limits to see what kind of a smile it can bring to my face. And the Suzuki Gixxer did bring a whole big, gigantic, enormous smile to my face, and it was super fun to corner it around and to push it to the limits, especially on big, broad, open roads right here in Bangalore. So if you're someone who is looking for an entry-level 150cc bike that is a whole lot of fun to ride and is exciting to boot, then the Suzuki Gixxer is a great bet, especially... I can't believe it's raining right now. I can't believe that it's raining in the middle of me trying to record this video. But anyways, I shall persist because that's how committed I am. I was just about to say that if you cannot afford the Duke 200 for some reason, or if your parents don't want to get you a KTM because they're scared of all of the nasty things they've heard, then I think the Suzuki Gixxer 155 can be a great compromise, and you should just go for it. It's quite affordable too. It is a sub 1 lakh rupee bike, and it comes in two different options. And the new colors that they have for 2018, apart from the Titron Blue, are actually pretty incredible. Alright, now let's talk about the second bike in the competition, and that is the rather elegant and refined Honda Hornet 160. But I have a feeling I can't do that in these clothes. I will have to change my attire. Now, of course, the Honda Hornet is the most refined and the most sophisticated of the three bikes that we're talking about today. And like I alluded to before, I will be attempting through my garb and my speech capture the personalities of each one of these bikes. So here we go with the Honda Hornet 160. Now, if I was to describe the Honda Hornet, it is like an executive wearing a smart tie, but also an executive that has got its sleeves rolled up so that you can have fun when you decide to. It is an incredibly smooth and refined bike. Of course, it's a Honda after all, what do you expect? But at the same time, you can cut loose with this bike and have fun when you really want to. And also, I think personally, it is the most pleasing looking bike out of all of the 150cc bikes that we have in India right now. But if you didn't already know this, it is also the heaviest in its segment, coming in at 138 kgs. But at the same time, it's also the most powerful with a 162cc engine. Now, all of this translates definitely into a more bulky and a more solid road presence, which you will feel when you're riding this bike. But at the same time, I think it captures the imagination of so many different people on the streets, because I see people turning around and taking a look at this bike. The fun quotient, I have to say, is a little limited, especially if you compare it to the Gixxer, which out and out is a mad machine. The Honda Hornet is not that. It's a more grown-up, more mature, more refined offering. The only thing that I kind of am super puzzled by is the fact that Honda, even in 2017, the last time I checked and rode this bike, did not have a kill switch, and that puzzles me completely. However, I hope they fixed this in the 2018 version. I'm not completely sure. If they haven't, Honda, you need to wake the F up right now. But apart from that one minor folly, I think Honda has a winner in its hands, and I just wish that there were more Hornets around, because even though the bike has done well, it hasn't done as well as one would have expected, considering what a great offering this is, and it has got that Honda reliability to back it up as well. Now, this is the only bike of the three that we're talking about in the 155cc segment which actually comes with optional ABS, and it also has the most number of colors to choose from. Now, I personally am not a big fan of the extensive over-the-top graphics, but this is something that all bike manufacturers are doing. Unfortunately, I personally loved the classic white, the classic red, the black and the orange colors that they had originally when they launched the Hornet in India. However, you don't get to choose from those. You have a lot of funky colors these days with a lot of, like I said, crazy graphics, and you will have to make do with that. But overall, for I think about a 1 lakh rupee bike, the Honda Hornet hits it out of the park. And finally, The Rock has come back! No, I'm just kidding. And finally, we're talking about the Yamaha FZ 2.0, and this out of the three bikes is the most well-balanced and well-rounded bike in my own humble opinion. Of course, I happen to own a Yamaha FZ, so take that with a pinch of salt. But seriously, Yamaha was the first one to actually introduce this whole naked bike segment in India all the way back in 2008 with a very solid bike. And I have to give it to them because they've managed to maintain that position. And you can kind of check that for yourself by looking at the number of bikes that they sell on a monthly basis as far as the FZ 2.0 is concerned. Even with the introduction of the Gixxer and the Hornet and the NS 160 and the Apache RTR 160, the Yamaha FZ, the OG, has still managed to hold its own, and I think that is no mean feat. According to me, if you took a Honda Hornet 160 and a Gixxer 155 and you just mashed them together, what you would get is really a very well balanced bike like the Yamaha FZ 2.0, because really think about it, it's great fun to ride, it's reliable, it's super smooth, and yet it has really good looks and a nice presence on the road. So if you're someone who's looking for all of these attributes, then I think the Yamaha FZ makes a lot of sense. It does not really stand out in one particular department. Like the Honda Hornet is an incredibly refined bike, and the Suzuki Gixxer is a brutish bike which is very, very fun to ride. But I think the Yamaha FZ is an all-rounder which checks all of the right boxes, and if you're going to be using this bike mainly for day-to-day commuting inside the city with the occasional long ride, then I don't think you can do much worse than the Yamaha FZ, or much better I should say. What am I talking about? You can't do much better than the Yamaha FZ 2.0, and of course between the three bikes that we're talking about, this one is the cheapest of the lot. It comes in at an on-the-road price of about 96,000 rupees right here in Bangalore, and that I think is quite the bargain. So again, I have to say that I'm a Yamaha owner, and as a result there is obviously some amount of natural bias that is likely to creep in. But leaving all of that aside, I still think the Yamaha FZ 2.0 is one hell of a deal. And that is it. Just like that, we've come to the end of this comparison video between what I think are the 3 best bikes in India in the 155cc segment. Now, of course, if you're a fan of the Pulsar NS 160 or the Apache RTR 160, then please don't get butthurt about it. I just haven't really had such a great experience with those bikes, which is the reason why I did not include them in this comparison. Go ahead and let me know what you thought of this video. If you found it useful, then go ahead and hit that like button, and let me know which one is your favorite bike and why in the comment section below. If you have any requests, put them in there as well. What the hell, I don't know if I'll be able to actually follow through on those requests or not, but I will try. Yes, I shall try. But again, as I've said before, I have a pretty demanding job and the time is sort of at a premium. But for my subscribers, for my loyal Savant squad, I shall make an honest attempt. But that is it for me. I've got to get out of here. I once again thank you for liking the video. If this is your first time around at the channel by any chance, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because it only takes a second. And while you're at it, also click on that bell icon so that you can be notified when yours truly puts out more new videos. I will see you in the next one. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Ride safe, take care, be good, as always, have fun.